Are you somebody that wants to market yourself as an entrepreneur on social media in 2020? Or maybe you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur and you're curious as to how you can market yourself on social media this year. Well, you are in the right place because I'm going to teach you the top 5 steps as to how to market yourself as an entrepreneur on social media in 2020. And tip number 5 is the one that really sort of ties this whole marketing strategy together. So make sure if you are going to sit down and take the time to watch them, you stay till the very end because tip number 5 is the most important out of all of them. Hi, my name is Taylor and I am one of the co-founders of Unbound Creative Agency. I've been working in marketing for about 3 years now after getting a degree in communications and advertising at uni. Anything to do with marketing, advertising, communications, creating content is absolutely my passion. And if you want to know how you can market yourself as an entrepreneur, I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on how you can do that on social media. So let's jump right in. But before we do that, just quickly, would you mind to subscribe and click the bell so that you receive notifications every week as to when we upload our videos? We will teach you everything you need to know about building your brand and growing your business online. So make sure to smash that subscribe button and the bell. Now, step number 1, which makes the whole strategy go around, start a podcast. Now, I know this might be scary for some people and it might seem like a lot of work, but just hear me out as to why you need to start a podcast. When you start a podcast, there's 3 main benefits. So the first one is you obviously get the podcast. You can upload your audio every single week, and that really helps for your audience to start seeing you as an authority in your industry, especially if you're just starting out. You really want people to start taking you seriously. So a podcast is a great way to do that. The second reason I am saying start a podcast, which I'll go into more detail, basically if you film the visual of you recording the podcast as well, you can then cut that up and use that to create micro content for your social media channels. You can use it to create YouTube videos. You can get the transcripts and create blogs. There's so many different possibilities with the recording of a podcast. And the third reason, which is probably the most important, which I'm also going to go into a little bit more detail about later, it allows you to build relationships with other people in your industry through the podcast. It really helps to build stronger connections, and you get to talk to people that you never really might have got to talk to before. Having a podcast and asking them to be on your show. Step number 2, to dive into a little bit more detail. So we want to repurpose your content, the best performing content, to share across your socials. When you have your podcast, you will be able to watch back the recording of it and listen for those little gold nuggets. There's always nuggets of gold in the podcast recording where the person that you're interviewing or yourself is just spitting absolute fire. They're just, what they're saying, you're listening to it, you're just like, yes, this is so much value and so great for the audience. Those are the parts that you want to cut out and take them and share them across your other social platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You want to create YouTube videos. As I mentioned before, you can get the transcripts for blog posts, and then you can turn those blog posts into Pinterest pins as well. So the possibilities with having a podcast in terms of the amount of content that you can create is absolutely insane. You cannot beat it, and it's the easiest way to do it as well, because you could find one editor online that could do all of this for you. They could help you with everything. All you would need to do would be maybe some graphics to create thumbnails, submit the blog to get transcripts online. You can pay, there's a website called rev.com. I think it's 10 cents per minute or something ridiculously cheap like that to get a transcript of what you're saying. Now the next step number 3, it builds relationships with people that you never usually would potentially even get the chance to be in the same room as them. It's a fantastic way to also attract your target market. The first people that you would maybe interview and to start to build up your audience would be people that are included in your target market. So people that you want to pitch your services or your products to, but if you email them, there's a very, very slim chance that they're going to say yes to having a sit down to you pitch your product or services to them. If you email them and ask them to come on your podcast, then there's a lot bigger chance that they're going to say yes, and they're going to have a sit down conversation with you and share their story and share some value to your audience. And then after the podcast recording stops and you're still having a chat to them, that's when you can really say like, I actually have this business, or I have this product, or I do this, or this is my area of expertise. Would you be open to taking a look or listening to my story and my pitch as well? Once you have done that and you start to build up your followers online and build up the number of people that are downloading and listening to your podcast, you can then start to interview people who are really industry leaders. And this will help you be seen as an industry leader for yourself. If you're interviewing people who are at the absolute top of their game and you're sharing that across all of these social media platforms, people are going to think that you're also at the absolute top of your game by viewing or listening to or reading this content. So it's a fantastic way to build online relationships and networks through recording podcast episodes. Now, step number 4, you need to make sure that all of your social media channels are optimized and they are branded consistently across all of them, because then people are going to know as soon as they hit your page or your profile that it's your brand. If your branding is inconsistent across all of your profiles, they're not going to understand that it's you. Also, people are not going to take you as seriously if your profiles are a mess, if they're not branded consistently, if there's random pieces of content that are not really related to your business or your brand or what you're trying to create. People who are industry leaders and brands that might potentially want to collab with you, or people that might want to work with you, they're not going to take you as seriously if everything is a mess. So make sure that across all of your platforms, your branding is super consistent and looks very professional. Now, is your guys' branding consistent across all of your platforms? Let me know below. If it is consistent, drop me a big yes, but if it's not, drop me a little help and I can jump in, have a conversation with you, answer some questions as to how we can potentially help you to get your branding more consistent across all of your social media platforms. So let me know below what your guys' branding is like. And lastly, step number 5 is to be authentic and don't try and show up as somebody that you're not. Yes, I understand that you are trying to brand yourself as an entrepreneur on your social media platforms, and this might potentially be something that you haven't done before. Maybe your audience doesn't even know that you have a business, or you're wanting to start a personal brand, but you still need to make sure that you're authentic to who you are and the stage that you're at in your business and with your brand. People are not going to appreciate if you go and hire fake fancy cars and pretend that you're super successful when you're not. People will appreciate if you're honest about where you're at, and they'll appreciate if you share with them what stage of your business or brand you are in and the struggles that you're going through, because people can relate to that. People can't relate as well to someone who's got a Lamborghini or who's flying around in hired helicopters pretending that they own it themselves when they don't. So make sure, if you are trying to brand yourself as an entrepreneur in 2020, to always show up authentically as yourself, because your audience is going to be able to resonate with that. They're going to trust you a lot more, and they're just really going to appreciate your honesty. So if this all feels a little bit too overwhelming for you, and if you feel as though you need help branding yourself in 2020 on all of your social media platforms, feel free to reach out to us. Email us here. We'll drop the email. It's hello@unboundcreativeagency.com. We can help you with absolutely everything that I've spoken about in this episode today. We can help you with podcasts, the social media snippets, the YouTube videos, the blog articles, Pinterest, absolutely anything that you need, we can help you out. So if you are struggling with creating your brand across your social media platforms consistently, and it feels too overwhelming for you to do all of these things that I've been talking about today, make sure to give us an email and we'll be able to have a conversation as to how we can help you out. Now, if you would like to receive weekly updates from us as to how you can grow your brand or your business online, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. We'll be releasing weekly videos, so make sure you hit the bell so you get those notifications as to when we put them out. And that is all. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found a lot of value. If you have any questions, pop them below, and if not, I will see you in the next episode. Bye!